just looking back at UNLV and kind of dissecting that film, I felt like it was similar to Colorado State in a lot of ways. I thought we played a really good first half. We were right there. And for whatever reason, again, we come out slow in the second half. I have no answer to why that is. If I did, it would be corrected. So we'll continue to work on it. Got to do a better job, obviously, with post defense. Boone really, really hurt us. We've got to make more shots. We're making it very, very hard on ourselves to have one team have 30 points versus our 6. So we got to continue to find good shots from an offensive perspective. But we had a really, really good couple of days of preparation and practice. We move on from UNLV and we get fired up. We've obviously been good, really good at home. Our 3 losses have come on the road, and we're seeing throughout all of college basketball it's hard to win on the road. No, it's going to be an amazing environment. Proud of the fact that we're getting sellouts this early in the year. Hadn't happened in a long time, so it's a credit to our guys for doing an amazing job of obviously winning helps, but also the way that they play, the way that they act. I think our community certainly appreciates it. And now we've got a nationally televised game. It's going to be amazing. Stripe out. I have no idea what sections are supposed to wear what, so don't ask. You guys can figure that out, but please get out the word there. So it'll be a fun day.
No, I asked you on Tuesday the same question, but I'll ask since you watched another game film. Is the 3-point problem that guys are passing up shots, or are you guys not creating enough opportunities?
I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think you're playing 2 guys in JT and Nelly a lot who are not going to shoot a lot of them. I think JT could shoot more, but he's not going to be a high-volume guy. So it's kind of a similar problem that we had last year with Josiah and Mo. But we need our 1s, 2s, and 3s for sure to shoot them when they're open. But take great shots. So it's a little bit of the first thing you said of creating to get other guys shots. But, UNLV was clearly just trying to, because we're hard to guard when you press up on us. They were sagging off a little bit. And so a little bit of both, I think.
And Donnie, just as a follow-up to that, Donnie's only flaw, really, it seems like, would be that outside shot. And it seemed like he was addressing that earlier this year. And maybe now, I don't want to say he's regressing necessarily, but his production hasn't been as good since league play started, and they do seem to be sagging off him again. Have you had a specific conversation with him about taking more 3-pointers?
Well, he took some versus Wyoming, right? So it's really just 2 of the 3 games that he didn't shoot as many of them. But Wyoming dared him to shoot them, where UNLV and Colorado State didn't necessarily dare him to shoot them. He needs to, every one of them. I mean, to say he only has 1 flaw, that's very nice of you. I mean, I think all of them need to continue to get better and better at what they're doing. So he's still young, and the competition has increased, and I know he'll learn from it. He didn't play great last game, obviously, but I think he'll rebound from it pretty well.
You mentioned post defense and going up against a guy like Levine, who's kind of been dominant all year. What challenges just go into just trying to slow down a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's strong, physical. He can score in a variety of ways. They put him kind of all over the court, whether it's ISOs, post-ups, on the block, in the middle. So it's going to have to be a team effort for sure with him. He's physical. He gets you in foul trouble. So everybody's got to be ready and available.
You mentioned all year that Q, you're trying to find a way to get him more minutes. With him, is it just a matter of foul trouble, or is it just
who?
Q.
Foul trouble. I don't think he's been in foul trouble yet this year. I think it's just can't play everybody. So as the competition gets harder and harder. I look at Q as he's a freshman, redshirted last year. He's going to be a really good player. Just can't play everybody.
I don't want to be Will Weber here, but
don't ever be Will Weber.
Are your all-conference guards taking enough shots?
Who are the all-conference guards?
Well,
You talking about the 3 or the 2 of them?
doesn't matter.
Well, I think you're starting to see a little bit more rhythm from them. They missed a lot of time. So why would you take a shot at Will? Did Will ever ask that question? It was like a stray, an unnecessary stray.
He asked a question.
We none of us want to be good. That's it.
I think they need to, House versus Wyoming shot a lot of shots. I don't remember the exact. Steve, do you remember? It was maybe 15 shots. Yeah. So I think they need to score points for sure. I think they're starting to look more themselves, maybe versus UNLV. because I think we can't forget where our bread is buttered with those guys for sure.
Kind of going off of that, I mean, you guys are a team that can get up and down, play in transition, but is there something else you want to see kind of in the half-court offense and really setting up? Is there something more that you haven't seen yet?
Well, we're different this year. Morris Udeze was certainly a scorer down there. Not to say Nelly can't, but I'm not sure Nelly is as good as Morris in those things. Nelly's better at other things than Morris was, but Mo is pretty good at scoring down there. So it's a work in progress with those guys. We do have a lot of new players. I think we kind of forget about that because House and Mash and Donovan were certainly three important ones, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all new guys. So work in progress there, but take what the defense gives you. It's move them around, see if you can attack, and kind of go from there. So better from the free throw line last game, which was great. I think we had the right guys taking them. But as I said before, I don't want to jack up threes just to jack up threes, but it's pretty hard if you're only shooting 3 threes in the first half. And like I said, 30-6 was the point differential in threes. That's challenging.
I don't want to go all leaf free. With Donovan played the entire time without House or without Mashburn. Now that all three of them are there, is he struggling to maintain some sort of identity? Because now you have three.
No, I think it's competition. It's increased. Not to say that Donovan's not ready for that competition, but we're playing tougher games. So everybody, Nelly's not putting up percentages that he may have before. So, it's just an increase in competition. It's not a chemistry thing with those three guys. I don't see that at all. I just think stakes are raised, get a little more challenging.
You've repeatedly said that the fans here, in your opinion, are the best in the country. You enter a game against San Diego State off the run that they had last year. How does home court advantage play a role in tomorrow's game?
The fact that we're selling a game out 4 or 5 days before, it just shows how much this community cares. It's the most underrated home court advantage, I believe, in all of college basketball. You see all those lists all the time. We just haven't had the success in the postseason, especially to be in that conversation. But our fans have absolutely overperformed, I think, throughout the years, maybe more so than what we've all done. So it's an amazing experience to be a part of. We have recruits that are coming to it. We've got recruits that will watch. Our players will remember these type of environments for years and years and years. I think we've seen a lot of people writing stuff about how arenas need to get smaller in college basketball. I saw an article the other day. There's a handful of them that can still fill them, and we can obviously do that. So hopefully moving forward, not just tomorrow, but we'll get multiple sellouts.
The game against UNLV, another example of the importance of Jalen being on the court, the unfortunate technical, 8-point game, and it stretched, I think, to 21. Not that farther, and was kind of a similar thing with CSU or whatever. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've talked about it over and over again. Just got to be a little bit smarter. His intentions are good. There was kind of a scrum right there. He was trying to run to break it up, but you can't get excessive in front of the ref. So it's a work in progress there as well. He understands it. He gets caught up in the emotion. He's an emotional player, but there's 99% of that is positive.
Jaden Ledee reminds you of any player you've faced either this year or just in your 3 years here? Is there a comp to him that you've seen in the Mountain West?
I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but he's done a great job of, just continue to develop his game. I don't know if he has a true weakness, to go along with obviously being very, very strong and physical and tough. San Diego State's always had those guys, but he's got an offensive skill package that may be a little bit more unique. So I can't think of one guy. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. I do know that. And it's going to be a major challenge.
As far as the difference from last year's team, obviously you guys, they were a lot bigger. They were just a bunch of linebackers on that team last year, but they also had Nathan Mensah protecting the rim. How different is their defense? Or is it still the same defense? They just happen to have a better rim protector last year?
Yeah, they may have had a little bit better shot blocking with Mensa, but their defense doesn't have a lot of holes. It's pretty similar. I mean, they're going to play five very physically strong, tough, older guys for the most part. And so, they're going to switch a lot of things, make you play one-on-one. So you got to have great player movement, ball movement, because it's not going to be easy to certainly find a lot of points.
Is that why you guys matched up with them so well last year? Their only home loss was to you guys here, as everyone well remembers, ball in the air, buzzer beater to beat you guys. You guys played them as well as anybody all last year, and I'm curious if it is because they force you to play one-on-one, and you guys have some players that sometimes even the fans here get frustrated with being one-on-one type players. You guys have that skill set. Is that why the matchup for you guys has been so good?
I don't know. I mean, I thought we played really well at their place last year. We competed our butt off. We rebounded the ball very, very well. We were able to attack and win. Even here at our place, we had a little bit of a lead, and then we got a little bit sloppy. They came back and made a good play. So I don't know if it's a matchup thing or what. It hasn't been every year since I've been here. Obviously, hopefully we continue to build and compete with teams like that in our league that have been very, very consistently successful. So they're gonna make it it's not easy to score on them. It's never been easy to score on them. So we got to do our part to rebound and defend with them and see if we can go win a rock fight.
We're 2 weeks into the conference schedule. Still not a real big breakthrough win for any team on the road. But look, it's obvious defending home court is important, but your next 4 games are probably against 4 of the best teams in the conference here in this building. Just talk about how important it is to win when you're on your own floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to win at home because it's not easy by any means, but you have an advantage. When you have 15,000 passionate fans, that is an advantage. How big of an advantage, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I know our guys will be juiced up. They love playing in this building. So the energy will be high. We've obviously been better at home, but we've had some good neutral site wins as well. But at the end of the day, the formula normally is win as many as you can at home and then go see if you can steal some on the road. The beauty of this league is you're going to have a lot. I looked at the schedule. Now, it could all change, but I think 10 of our 15 left are quad 1s and 2s. So really good opportunities in front of us.
We know it's a nationally televised game, but it's like a really, really nationally televised game. 2 o'clock on the East Coast, Saturday for the football games. I mean, great opportunity for your program.
Yeah, I mean it's puts the state of New Mexico. I think it. As I've said many a times, I believe our fan base is the most underrated fan base in college basketball. I don't think anyone would ever think you'd put New Mexico up with the Indianas, the Michigan States, the Kentuckys, and the Dukes, and so on. But our fans are as passionate, if not more. And so you have an opportunity. As I said before, when I first got here, all the graphics in the building of filled pit were of Steve Alford coaching. Well, now we're able to get our guys on there and sell it in recruiting and those things and show more recent success as it pertains to attendance to show the buy-in from the community. So it just helps us in so many ways. The revenue that's produced with these games. I mean, I look at our basketball program like it's like a local business. Go support us, and it's going to help us in the end. We certainly talk about all the challenges that the state and everybody has. When you have 15,000 people pouring their heart and soul in this, it just helps us moving forward. So greatly appreciate them.
And just that noon tip, how much, if at all, does that kind of just change your game day routine?
Changes it a little bit. We're used to late games just because of TV and stuff. We'll do a different time shoot around. But our guys, we practice over the break at 11 o'clock a lot. And then we've been practicing the last couple of days at 12. Energy's been good, everything like that. So, yeah, get up a little bit earlier, get some breakfast, do all those things, and you won't have your traditional, but they do as well.
I mean, they went to the Final Four, and they're just a top team. They've been a top team in this Mountain West Conference for, some time. So we want to go at the top guys and compete with the top teams. And, all of our players are juiced to play tomorrow, so we can't wait.
How's this start of the second half thing? How are you guys addressing it in the locker room and the players? Is it something you guys talk about? Because it's been 3 league games now. You guys have really struggled out of halftime.
Yeah, definitely. Out of halftime, I mean, it's been historic when in my career in New Mexico, coming out of halves. It's still a work in progress for us. I mean, we just got to continue to find ways to stay loose, stay together, because, you know, the first possession out of that, you know, halftime is so important, and we usually lack in that area. So if we can continue to, you know, we had a good day of practice yesterday, talked about some good things, and we're confident in ourselves, confident in our group, so we'll be able to correct those things moving forward.
Nash, are you getting enough shots? Do you feel like you're taking enough shots?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be myself and just attack. I mean, shots gonna come and go. I can't control what goes in, what doesn't go in, so I just be myself. That's all I can ask for.
Have you ever been asked if you think you're taking enough shots?
No, no, but you know, every year is different. Every year is an opportunity to learn something different about, you know, players, about yourself. So I've been able to learn a lot. This has been my most, you know, learning year in my college career. So I'm having fun with it.
So the 3-pointers is something, though, that coach has mentioned, too, and you guys aren't taking a whole lot of them. And I'm curious, you know, coming into this year, you said you'd be taking a lot more. Do you feel you've been taking a lot more of the 3-pointers? Kind of the follow-up on what we asked, but like specific on the 3-pointers, are you taking enough of them, and does this team need to do something different so you guys get more opportunities and more looks at the 3?
I mean, I think we all just need to just do a better job of just taking the shots that the defense gives us. I think last game, we ended the half shooting like three threes, something like that, and 6 in total. I mean, that's not enough if you're going to try to be a top team in this Mountain West Conference, especially in this day and age. You got to shoot threes. So, you know, that's something that we've talked about, and that's something that we're going to continue to correct moving forward.
And in a game like that, when you're only taking 3.5, do you see during the game them start to sag more? Do you notice it, or is that something you don't see until film?
Sag off me or off?
Just off you guys in general. Like defensively in general, they seem to be sagging off of everybody a little more as you guys are taking less threes.
Well, I've just noticed in my career, I mean, every time I have the ball, it's like, you know, the entire team is looking at me. So, you know, I guess in that aspect of sagging off other players, yeah, we noticed that. But last game, we didn't do a good job of adjusting and kind of just, all right, taking what the defense gives us. But again, we'll be better moving forward.
How would you evaluate the team's on-court chemistry right now?
It's 100%. I mean, we're all connected. I mean, I know we've had a couple losses, but we've done our best to stay together, saying the right things to each other, and just being together, man, and just continuing to work. I mean, you know, we're going to lose games, we're going to be down in games, we're going to go through adversity, but you know, if we can stay together and just continue to be confident, we're going to be a great team. So.
UNLV was your 3rd game back. I think, how are you feeling about getting into rhythm, and how has that been so far adjusting?
I feel good, actually. I mean, I got my legs kind of back underneath me. You know, my shot feels good. My thumb, I haven't really had no issues because, you know, I've been kind of concerned on the defensive end, slapping at balls and stuff like that. But, I mean, I feel good, though. I mean, it's still a process. Like I said, I think when I was talking with you, I ain't never been hurt like that in my career and been out. So, you know, all the way dating back from high school to middle school, I've never been out. So it's just been different for me. But everything's moving in the right direction for me, for sure. Yeah.
You guys are unbeaten so far this season at home. How much pride do you guys take on defending, you know, the home court here at the Pit, and how much influence do you think that the fans have over that as well?
We take tremendous pride in the Pit. I mean, this is a historic building, historic place to play at, and we know that when teams come in here, we're going to get their best shot. So we got to give them their best shot too. So. And the fans, man, I mean, they you know, I know it's going to be sold out, you know, coming tomorrow, but I mean, they're great. When they give energy and, you know, they're cheering us on and stuff like that. When we go on our runs, it's terrific. So, I mean, I can't thank them enough.
You know, getting back to the threes, you and Donnie and Jalen and even True are all the four dynamic guards who will attack the basket and get those shots. Does the 3-point thing kind of fall on a player like Baker? Because he's here to shoot the 3 and defend the 3. Could he be the guy that maybe ignites the 3-point offense?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a sniper. You know, like I said, we haven't had a fully healthy team, you know, this entire year, honestly. And, you know, Bake's an older guy, and he's going to continue to work. And I'm not doubting about him at all, about, him getting hot, because, last year I remember him hit 10 threes and have 40 in a game, and, just like that. So he can get hot real quick. So it's only a matter of time before he gets going and before all of us get going.
Do you guys talk with Jalen at all? Do you, as a veteran, talk with Jalen at all when he has another game where foul trouble or silly technical gets him sent to the bench in a key moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a key piece to our team, key piece to our defense, key piece just for our morale. So, yeah, I mean, us being close, I have to talk to him and just let him know, man, we need you out there. I mean, he plays with such high energy and such emotion, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, to where sometimes, the refs could, look at him differently and maybe like they're showing him up, but he's really not. He's just a kid that loves to play hard, loves to compete, and, what I'm saying, he works his butt off. So, yeah, we need to keep him out on the floor. I mean, he can't be in foul trouble and getting technicals like that. We can't have that anymore. So, yeah, I'm in his ear about that for sure.
Some of us have been able to see him a little bit off the court and got to know him, not anywhere like you or Steve or coaches. For the fans out there who only see the on-court Jalen House and kind of think maybe he's a little out of control and maybe doesn't seem to care about it because it keeps happening, what would you say about how he is off the court?
Man, for one, he's my brother and one of my best friends. I've been able to kind of grow with him in this time in New Mexico of just being in the backcourt and being the main backcourt, and we've learned so much off of each other. But him as a person, man, he's a kind person, man. Like he cares about everybody. I mean, he works hard at his craft. I mean, he just had his baby girl, so he's dealing with that. So he's a great dad. You know what I'm saying? I can say so many positive things about him off the court that you guys don't know, that I'll let him kind of, open up about. But man, he's someone that will be in my life, forever. You know what I'm saying? So
Coach talked about how UNLV hurt you guys in the low post. He wants better low post defense. I'm curious, from a guard perspective, how do you guys facilitate that?
I think, we just have to have a better dig presence. I mean, we had trap schemes for Boone. We had stuff like that we didn't fully commit to, that if we're going to fully commit to a trap, we have to communicate. There has to be rotations. There has to be, backside help. We tried trapping from the low side, and it's just, we just we're able to execute that. Try to goal, trap from the high side. It just didn't work. So we just got to be more connected on, what we're doing as far as a whole team defensively. That's not just the Big's fault. I mean, we all take, accountability for how many points he had, like 29. Yeah, we all take account for that.
And speaking of that, you got Ledee coming in tomorrow, and then Utah State has probably the best big man in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get tested on that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys adjusted schematically in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a great, we're about to have practice right now, but yesterday was a great practice for us as far as just being connected on what we're doing defensively, and our bigs being able to stop those guys down there. So we're holding everybody accountable, myself included, Jalen, just everybody, just so we're more connected. So we're going to be just fine over these next few games.
Do you think much about last year's game here in the pit with San Diego State?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, we watched a little bit of film on how we, were able to score on them, how we were able to guard them. I remember it was a great game. I remember it was just a terrific game to be a part of. I mean, I know the ending wasn't how I wanted it, but he hit a tough shot, a good shot that I didn't think he was going to hit. But, it was a great game, and I'm excited to play it. It's always a competitive atmosphere with San Diego State. That's what I live for. So.
Have you gotten to know Lamont at all, or Darren, Jamel, their guards at all?
I mean, just throughout, just us playing against each other, little conversations here and there. Mountain West Media Day, we talk here and there. They're all good dudes, though. All good dudes.
This is a team that went to the national championship game and got on that national stage. You almost swept them last year. Mm-hmm. Is there ever a thought in the locker room like, man, why not us? Why can't someone else do that too?
Definitely. I mean, definitely when you beat a team like that and when you had them on the ropes like that, like we did at our place, that's definitely something that we think about. Like, man, like that could have been us in that position, but we didn't do it. Simple as that. They did it. So, we just got to go out there and be us, and they're going to be them, and then the better team is going to win. So, yeah, we're just excited. We're just excited.
You brought up how the team hasn't been healthy all year, so you guys have had some different rotations. Do you feel, and you guys are really good in transition, but half-court offense has been a little stagnant at times this year. Do you feel like that's just because you guys haven't all played together? Is that something that's going to take time? Or?
Yeah, we're a bunch of new guys, so we've all been learning on the fly with each other. I mean, Nelly, he wasn't here for like the whole year, and he has to get reinserted in and be our starting five in a force down there. So a lot of factors that play into that. I think in these next couple of days of practice and in these games, we'll see a difference in kind of how our offense is flowing, because you're right, we have been stagnant in the half court, and when we're at our best, that's when we fly in and getting stops and just getting in transition and playing, and that's what we've been focusing on in practice, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So,
how much motivation do you have the next 3 games, 2-3 games, where it could be a turning point for the Lobos? I mean, if you come out with victories here and make a run at it.
We don't need extra motivation. We're in the middle of the season, and if you need extra motivation now, you're in trouble. So every team in this conference has to have some type of motivation, because the job's not finished. This is the beginning of the Mountain West season, and anything can happen in the span of a week, and we're just prepared to play our best brand of basketball and to just really compete as a team. And we know that the tables will turn at any point in time for any team in this conference, just because of how good every team in this conference is. And we know how good we are. So we're just going to continue to stay at it, stay to work, and be humble about the process, and we'll be just fine.
Geoff asked you about Jalen off the court. Throughout the last couple months, we've had every one of you guys come in here, with the exception of Nelly. Nelly's like an enigma to the media. I'm curious, what is he like off the court?
He's reserved. He's to himself. But he's not he's a great guy, man. He's my roommate. It's me, Sebastian, and Shane. So we all hang out. We all talk, man. And he's to himself, man. Reserved, real mature. Obviously an older guy. So, but I love Nelly, man. He's been great to our team. He's been a great addition, man. He's funny. He loves bumping the Migos, old school music and stuff like that. So he's funny though. He's great.